What if you could eliminate perfectionism, procrastination, imposter syndrome, and destructive habits forever? All ambitious people are familiar with the voice of the inner critic. You know, the judgmental voice that's full of opinions. Sometimes it helps you actually do amazing work, but sometimes, and a lot of the times, it actually makes you doubt yourself and question everything that you do. You're not ready. You don't have enough experience. You might mess up. Whatever you do is never enough. If this story sounds a little familiar, then this video is for you. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 pieces of advice to help you with imposter syndrome. My name is Sol, and I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and a rapid transformational therapist. And I create these videos here on YouTube to help you quickly transform your story, because the story you tell becomes the life you live. And that's why I call it the living narrative. So subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified every time I post a video. So as I mentioned, I'm an expert at helping people change their thinking. And I work with highly motivated and ambitious people every single day who struggle with perfectionism, self-doubt, anxiety, imposter syndrome, and burnout every single day. 90% of the people I work with call me up and tell me that they feel like a fraud. Doesn't really matter what industry they're in. Doctors, lawyers, women in tech, network marketers, sales reps, even moms. So many people call me up and they go, I feel like I'm not really living the life I'm supposed to be living. No matter how much success they have, they feel like it's never enough. They feel like they are never enough. It's like they need to do more or be more to actually be worthy of the things that they've accomplished in life. And sometimes they just don't even let themselves feel like what they've done is ever enough. For example, my client Corey, she works in tech, and when she called me last year, she told me that she couldn't really receive compliments. If she ever really succeeded in something, she felt like she didn't actually deserve it. And she felt that if she actually celebrated these things, or if she allowed herself to receive the positive feedback and the encouragement and celebration, that she basically wouldn't keep pushing herself. And so she would never allow herself to actually succeed, even when she was accomplishing really big things in her work. She struggled with fear of failure, anxiety, and she felt like a fraud. After working with me and taking my Quantum Leap program, she immediately massively increased her sense of self-confidence, but most importantly, she allowed herself to feel worthy of her successes, worthy of all of the hard work that she put in to get where she was. Now, not only is she allowing herself to enjoy her successes in her business and in the work that she does, but she's allowing other people to celebrate with her as well. And bonus, she actually takes time off to celebrate. Like, taking time off was not even an option to her when we first talked. And now she's taking time off to celebrate, and she deserves that. Everyone deserves that. And the truth is, when you actually celebrate your success, it gives your mind such powerful feedback to continue doing that behavior. What gets celebrated gets repeated. And this is such a backward thing that most people think, well, no, I have to keep working harder and have another goal and do more and do more. But actually, when you take a break and celebrate and acknowledge yourself, your mind is going to do even more for you. So if you struggle with burnout, please take a minute and just celebrate yourself. Celebrate how far you've come. Pause, rest, and reflect on what has gotten you to this point so far. So why do people like Corey even get imposter syndrome? To go deep into this, I'll have to make another video, but for a quick answer, what I find that most of my clients experience, either having a trauma response from something that happened in childhood, sometimes it's from having an alcoholic parent, feeling unworthy, or some kind of verbal abuse, or, and this is probably the most common, just having a lot of criticism, excessive criticism from either parents or teachers or some kind of authority figure or even a loved one. Even if you had a really great childhood, some careers actually just require a lot of critiquing. And that's great if it's done well, but unfortunately, not a lot of people are really good at giving healthy feedback and critique. People who don't feel like imposters are no more intelligent or capable than the rest of us. It's actually just that they think about things slightly different. And that's really great news because you know what? The only thing you need to do to stop feeling like an imposter is to stop thinking like one. Yep, it's that simple. If you want help understanding the root cause of why you have imposter syndrome, I'll let you know something that you can do at the end of this video. Step number 1 is to normalize failure. I cannot stress this enough because failure is a part of the process. We don't learn by getting everything perfect from the very beginning. If you think about a baby learning how to walk, first he's gonna fall probably 100 times. And if you never let that baby fall and you just wanna hold the baby up the whole time, how is it ever gonna learn to stand on its own 2 legs? You have to fail in order to learn and grow. It's just a part of the process. The sooner you can normalize failure and accept that you are going to fail and that is something to celebrate, the better it's going to be for you to stop feeling like an imposter. Another way to look at this, it's kind of a little bit different, but if you think about working out and strength training, what do you do when you're trying to grow a muscle? You go to failure. You want to lift heavy weights till you reach failure, and then it breaks the muscle and it builds new tissue. And so the goal is actually to get to failure every day as much as possible. Imagine if you adopted that kind of belief for yourself and in what you're doing. Like push your edges as far as you can till you reach failure. That changes everything, doesn't it? Being wrong doesn't make you a fake. Not getting something perfect the first time means that you are growing and you are learning. And the quicker you get back on your feet and try again, it's just an opportunity to begin again more intelligently. This is how you will learn things and grow and be innovative and creative in your career. So number 1 is normalize failure. Welcome it. Know that it is coming. It is a part of the process. And the more you fail, the more you are growing. Instead of beating yourself up for falling short, learn the value of loss. Allow yourself to learn from those moments and to grow and to keep encouraging yourself, not to stop, not to start questioning and doubting yourself, but to just come back even stronger, allowing it to build your character and your resilience. My second piece of advice to help you overcome imposter syndrome, and I kind of gave you a little sneak peek about this earlier, but you gotta celebrate your successes. It's an absolute must, because if you're constantly focused on the next goal, the next client, the next income goal, the next 15 pounds, whatever, more, and you never stop and pause to let your body and to let your mind and your psyche say, hey, hello, we have made it. We have arrived. We did it. We set out to do something and we did it. When you skip over acknowledging that, you're going to burn out. You're just going to be exhausted. Your mind is going to feel like what you do is never enough, and it's going to constantly reinforce this feeling inadequate. It is absolutely crucial for your success that you take time to pause, to rest, and to celebrate your successes. It gives your body, your mind, and your psyche the opportunity to say and feel and know that you have arrived. When you just focus on the next thing, you don't take a minute to pause and acknowledge, and especially if you share it with others, that's bonus. Your mind is just going to, really anchor onto those moments of connection and celebration. And if you skip this step, then you might as well have never even achieved anything, basically. And the truth is, the next thing you achieve won't really matter either. Think of it like a wave. Accomplishing a goal, efforting, and then resting, relaxing. Like when you can build, this is what builds momentum. When you're just pushing up, there's too much tension, there's too much pressure. You can only go so far. You just gotta and it's so much easier and more enjoyable when you just push and rest, exert and relax, go for big goals, but also celebrate and enjoy. This is so important. That is step number 2, my second piece of advice for overcoming imposter syndrome. The third piece of advice is directly connected to the last one, and that is about wishing other people success. It might sound counterintuitive, but this is a super ninja mind hack. If you wish other people success, especially when they are above you in terms of success in your industry, or if they're above you in authority, and you're wishing them success and you want to see them succeed, and you truly allow yourself to wish that for another person, oh my gosh, what it does for your mind is really, really powerful. What you celebrate in others, you are giving yourself permission to easily enjoy and achieve yourself. You see somebody driving down the street with the car that you want. It's your dream car. You could feel jealous. You could be like, oh, that person, whatever, Or you could just celebrate for them. And you know what it does when you celebrate and you get excited? Your heart opens and your energy expands and you become more magnetic. And so you might be thinking about the car and you go, wow, that's so awesome. They got their dream car. They achieved their goals and that's so great. I hope they get even more than what they've ever wanted. And I hope that they're so blessed. You're just putting yourself in a bubble of positive energy that is going to affect everyone who comes into contact with you. And so not only is it giving you permission subconsciously to have that car that you're celebrating for someone else, but it allows you to have all kinds of things that you might otherwise be completely blocking if you were just cursing that person with your dream car or feeling bad about it. Now, this might bring up competition, and that's okay. It's okay to be jealous. It's more important that you recognize it and that you notice it, because as soon as you notice it, then you can reflect and see what it's showing you about yourself and see what it's showing you about where you actually are blocking your own success. So you don't need to be worried or afraid of jealousy. It's such a powerful opportunity to actually clear your own limiting beliefs. When you go into judgment and make another person wrong, what you're saying to your subconscious mind is, that's wrong, that's not for me, I won't have that. That's basically what it's doing. And so what would it be like to come from the place of seeing other people and wanting to support them and elevate them, even if you have the same goals? Celebrating the other as if it was celebrating your own achievement. And starting to ask yourself, how can I lift other people up? Whether you're asking them directly or just asking yourself, how can I help you reach your goal? When you show up in the energy of celebrating others, people notice that. And it's a powerful magnetic quality that will help you attract the things that you really want in your life. So number 3 is celebrating other people's success. All right, just before we get to number 4, I want to have a little fun in the comments section. So tell me, how can I or anyone else on YouTube watching this video celebrate your success? What goals do you have? What are you working towards? Let me know in the comments, because I would love to celebrate and support your success. All right, my 4th piece of advice for overcoming imposter syndrome is all about changing your story. The story you tell becomes the life you live. You might have heard me mention the subconscious mind. Well, I have other videos about how the subconscious mind works, which you should totally check out. I'll link them in the description and at the end of this video. But just to summarize, you constantly have this inner narrative going on the conscious level, which you're aware of, and on the subconscious level, which you might not be aware of, but it actually affects you every day, all day long, especially when we look at the voice of the inner critic. The voice of the inner critic can actually help you do amazing work. It can help you push your boundaries, achieve more than you ever have, and it can help you really become very high level in whatever it is that you're doing. But if the voice of that inner critic is running the show, you could be in big trouble. This is one of the biggest deterrents to success that my clients face. And that's why I created a hypnosis recording to shrink the inner critic, reprogram your mind, and install tremendous confidence. It's really a prerequisite to working with me because almost everybody deals with this, and it's really, really powerful and effective. So if you'd like to download it for free, you can go to thelivingnarrative.com, or you can click the link in the description to get it. Now, my final piece of advice for overcoming imposter syndrome is something that I experienced personally. When I was struggling to believe in myself and I was doubting myself and all of the work that I had done, and I thought, even after years of being in this field, I thought, wow, nobody wants what I have, and who am I to make these transformational programs, and just, in the middle of it all. And he said to me, how could you be so selfish to withhold your work and your gifts from the people who need it? Oof, that one hit me in the gut. Like, there are people out there who need what I have. And how could I be so selfish to actually withhold that? Because, poor me, like, I have doubts. Oh man, when he told me that, I was just like, what? So this piece of advice is all about letting go of some of your self-importance. When you let go of thinking about yourself constantly and instead turn your energy onto what it is you're trying to do, who you're trying to help, whatever it is that you're working on, and you focus instead on adding value instead of just constantly putting the spotlight on yourself and like how you look and whatever, this will do tremendous things for your confidence, and not only that, but for your impact. I only feel like a fraud when I'm concerned about myself. When I'm thinking, what will they think of me? What if I fail? What if they shun me if I fail? What if I don't know as much about this topic than this other person? What if my program isn't as successful? Like, we can constantly be concerned with ourselves, but the truth is, nobody else cares about me and my insecurities. Everyone is only concerned about themselves for the most part, right? Most people are so self-conscious and worried about just things in their life personally, relationships, money, work, family, health, like all of things. Everybody's concerned about themselves. And we think everyone's just going to be judging us. But the truth is, we judge ourselves much worse than anyone else does. So this piece of advice is all about shifting your awareness from having the spotlight on you, instead turning it on to somebody or something else. Whenever you're feeling self-conscious or worried or feeling fake or like an imposter, just turn your awareness onto helping somebody else. And while these are my top 5 pieces of advice for anybody who's experiencing imposter syndrome, the truth is, there's many different reasons that you could be feeling like an imposter in your life, in your career, in your relationships. So the first place that I would recommend to start is by downloading my free hypnosis recording. Go to thelivingnarrative.com or go to the link in the description below to download it, and it will help you to shrink the inner critic and install confidence so that you can feel like you can be who you are in your relationships and in your career. And if you are ready to accelerate your growth and you feel ready for a quantum leap, you'd like to get to the root cause of why you've been self-sabotaging and accelerate your growth, then come to thelivingnarrative.com and you can schedule a free life direction session. It's an opportunity for you to get clear on where you're at now, what you want, and what's been holding you back. And if it feels like a natural resonance for us to work together, then we can explore what that might look like. So come to thelivingnarrative.com or click the link in the description below. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Check out this video to learn how to permanently end self-sabotage. And check out my first podcast episode of how I went from anxiety, codependency, and control issues to absolutely thriving in a life that I love. Hit the subscribe button and the bell button to be notified every time I post a video. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.